Ouija boards are just a game, aren't they? Welcome to 5 After Midnight. One.
When I was younger, my stepsister was really into Wicca and would play around with tarot cards and Ouija boards. I never really believed in that stuff, and I was 12 at the time. One day, she convinced me to mess around with a Ouija board in her creepy downstairs bathroom. Our house was built like a beach house due to the excessive flooding in the area, so the kitchen, living room, and main bathroom and bedrooms were all downstairs. The downstairs was a guest room, game room, so we weren't really down there all that much. I agreed, and we started talking to a ghost named Manny. Well, we both knew the other was pushing it, so we thought nothing of it when the bathroom light went out. We were both kind of spooked, but we shrugged it off and forgot about it. The next week, I had a sleepover, so me and all of my friends were downstairs sleeping. I woke up first and went downstairs to the kitchen where my mom was making us breakfast. I went down the hallway to my room, and my stepsister walked out of her bedroom, pushed past me, and went into the bathroom that was right across from my room without saying a word to me. I thought nothing of it, considering that she wasn't a morning person. I got dressed and knocked on the bathroom door. "Someone's in here," I heard her growl from the inside of the bathroom, and she was always grumpy in the morning. I went back to my bedroom to grab something, came out, and saw that the bathroom door was wide open, and there was no one in there. I looked around and went to the kitchen. I said, "Hey, Mom, where did my stepsister go?" And she said, "I dropped her off at her mom's house an hour ago."
Two.
You may not believe in Ouija boards, but don't use them. The thing is that they are a gateway for any and all spirits, more so the bad ones, or so I've heard. My mom told me once that when she was young, maybe 15 or 16, she was spending the night at her friend's house with a few other friends, and they decided to use one as a joke out of curiosity. Well, after some things were spelled out, and they got their kicks from it, my mom went to the bathroom. And when she was washing her hands, she looked down at the sink, and then looked up at the mirror, and she saw a grisly old man looking back at her with a long beard. I also tried a Ouija board once when I was a kid. We were all skeptical and horsing around. As soon as all of our fingers touched the glass, my friend's enormous wardrobe toppled over, nearly on top of us.
Three.
One day, after we went to a party, some friends and I decided to go back to one of our houses and hold a seance. They lit some candles, brought out a Ouija board, and do some of the usual seance shit. From my perspective, it was getting pretty boring, and I was about to call it quits. At this time, though, they were starting to shit-talk whatever spirit they were trying to communicate with into giving us some kind of sign. For example, they were saying, "Do something so we can acknowledge you, if you're not too much of a pussy." Suddenly, her two dogs, who were in the garage at the time, sprint to the table that we were sitting at and start going apeshit. These are two huge-ass German shepherds, and they weren't scared of shit. During the time that this is happening, the screen door that goes into her house from the porch starts slamming on its own. It's only like 4 feet from us, and we are watching it open and close with no assistance. We freaked out, and I ran around the house, and we went in the front door and basically hid in the living room until we had to go home. It was one of the scariest experiences of my life. I'm not saying that I'm a full-on believer in the typical paranormal shit. I just really have no idea what I saw, and it scared the living shit out of me.
4.
I believe that after using a Ouija board, my sister and I had released something weird into our house. First of all, we couldn't keep an animal alive for very long in that house. We had 3 pet birds, 5 dogs, and a rooster. We had them vaccinated and fed them and gave them lots of love, but they all would die soon after we got them. Also, we started hearing footsteps up and down the hallways and in the kitchen at night, even when there was no one else home. Probably the scariest thing that happened to me was when I was cleaning the bathroom. I heard this gasping and choking sound in the shower next to me. The curtain was open and no one was there. I ran out of there as fast as I could.
5.
I was about 13 or 14, and I was hanging out at a friend's house. We had already gotten ourselves all riled up by playing with a Ouija board, as teenage girls like to do. An electric dartboard in her room started to make a chirping sound, and it freaked us out a little bit as nobody had been using it lately. We took the batteries out of it so it wouldn't bug us anymore. About an hour later, that sucker started going off like it was being actively used. It was playing bits of music and so on, beeping and honking, and just raising a fuss. Without the batteries. I've never been able to figure out how it was able to do that. Thank you so much for watching and supporting the show. If you have a story to share, send us an email, like us on Facebook, share, like, and subscribe.